Music from Shalsheles. Welcome to a Tuesday night, a special presentation, special edition of the Nachum Segal radio broadcast here at Sobey's in Toronto, Canada. Could you imagine? We're in Toronto, Ontario. We're at Sobey's, that some consider, and I think it would be accurate to say, the world's largest kosher supermarket. People come from far and wide to visit Sobey's, and we are here today. As many of you know, we've got quite a show scheduled for tomorrow morning's JM and the AM in support of two of Toronto's great community services, and hence we decided to be here tonight, and our friends at kosher.com and their affiliated companies made sure we'd be here at the Sobey's, this amazing and incredible supermarket, as we've taken this opportunity to broadcast live. And for me, this is somewhat of a dream come true, because about, 10, 15 years ago, when I was looking into doing a live radio broadcast from Toronto, like we always do, we're always dreaming about going to different places and broadcasting from different stores or locations. Everybody at that time said the place that you must do a radio show if you do get to Toronto is Sobey's. And here we are. Miriam Alwalik is here. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
How unusual for us to be on the air live during an evening broadcast.
No joke.
But here we are, and I'll say the following. We walked into this store earlier today, and for some reason...
obnoxious New York.
Yeah, and for some reason, it could be for that reason, that because we were coming from New York and because we have this impression of what things are or should be outside of New York, for some reason I thought it was a supermarket, a full chain supermarket with a nice, well-known kosher section.
Right.
But you walk in here, and everything that we saw in the first few seconds of our visit, every one of these departments is completely kosher.
It's
and I'm talking about
all
bakery,
all the prepared,
bakery,
right.
sushi, deli, cheese, fresh meat, this incredible takeout counter, which is remarkable.
And the pizza counter.
The pizza,
we're going to be getting some pizza.
Now we're talking.
I know, you're welcome.
Now we're talking.
Not for Yoni.
Yeah, well, Yoni, I think, has one of these, he's sworn off pizza.
That's right.
Knowing his weakness for it. But
That's
since
right.
it was a tough short fast for him today, maybe he'll give in. Anyway, so here we are.
Between the sushi counter, the bakery, you mentioned the cheese, you mentioned the meat department, the fish department, the prepared on both sides. It's not to be believed.
And just look at where we are now. We're actually sitting in a little bit of a cafe area where people can grab some of the food we've just been talking about.
Where placemats are available so that things can be kept kosher, and that's what the sign says. For kosher purposes, please use a placemat.
And people can grab a placemat. They can sit at these tables and enjoy it as if it's a cafe, and that's exactly what it serves to be each and every day. Here during, I guess, lunch and breaks at Sobey's. So this was, and you saw my reaction when I walked in.
Your reaction was the same as my reaction.
This has been a supermarket life-altering experience.
Right.
We never expected this. And then people are, they're really talking it up here. They're really talking it up, I must say. Nobody is embarrassed to proclaim that this is North America's largest kosher supermarket. And trust me, you and I and many of our listeners have seen and have shopped in many of North America's largest kosher supermarkets.
Absolutely.
But when you add it all together, the incredible supermarket aisles, plus, of course, this section that we keep alluding to, which is where we are in between all these prepared foods, you're talking about a really, really large area that I will say arguably is North America's largest kosher supermarket. All right, a big thank you to kosher.com. Now, many people are aware that kosher.com continues to make tremendous inroads in the world of kosher food, both virtually and practically, and are doing really an amazing job out there in getting the word out about the products and recipes and things that are new and innovative ideas, et cetera, et cetera. And kosher.com, as we know, have many affiliated companies because they're associated with some of the world's biggest brands and most amazing products. And therefore, those who are, for instance, watching this video would see that a lot of the brands that they're associated with are adorning the table at which we sit. Our friends at Geffen, our friends at Tuscanini, our friends at Kedem, they are all prominently displayed in this on this table, plus Heaven and Earth, which is a very interesting, I guess we'd call it mix, which you'll get into detail about a little later on.
I certainly will, but also...
That's your specialty, after all.
Yes. I mean, I saw this... First of all, I haven't seen this in New York. There are a number of products on the shelf here at Sobey's that I have not seen in New York. And
when we speak to the rabbi, he's going to explain that, by the way.
And I will be going shopping before the end of the evening, and we will be taking it back to New York. I've done that before, not always with that much success, but this is totally going to be worth it. These we can keep in the studio. I know, not for you guys. Chickpeas and quinoa for me, and, I don't know what for you. But
chickpeas and quinoa.
Right. But these chips are fantastic. I'm sure you've seen them around. They're the vegetable medley chips, and they're the beet chips, and I think these are the I got to see them over here. Yeah, the taro chips.
Those are the heaven and earth ones.
Right. They all rival what we know as taro chips.
Right.
But from this incredible brand that is, prominently being promoted by kosher.com and all of our friends at Keiko. And by the way, I mean, we're going to open up a couple of packages.
I mean,
Popcorn
is it's a very big brand. It's a very delicious snack.
Right.
I mean, some of the major airlines serve it. That's how, how big it's gotten. And Geffen, just one of the Geffen, I can only imagine if we had every Geffen product on this table, the table wouldn't be able to sustain itself. But one of the featured products tonight is their popcorners, which is just a great snack. So
we're going to be talking about a lot of. Right. I'm sorry for cutting you off.
No problem.
We're going to be talking about a lot of these things, and also, of course, the Wasatsky tea box, which many people have in their homes.
Love that tea box.
Right, and we did a whole great Wasatsky giveaway for Hanukkah, which was wonderful.
Correct.
Our thanks to Kim.
You got more product on this table than I thought.
Yeah, I've got so much product on this table that it's actually overflowing and a little bit unwieldy. But the Tuscanini crackers, which you've been talking about on the air, we did some spots for them as well.
There's a word for them. I'm looking for you. They have a really thin crisp. They have a really good thin crisp. And
they call them parchment crackers.
Yeah, and that would indicate that they're really, really thin and delicious. Right. And trust me, they are. They're really good.
So we're going to be sampling a bunch of these different items. We're also going to be sampling some of the takeout and opportunities here at Sobey's.
How many people are walking in shocked to see us all the way from New York City?
Well, we had that before.
Yeah, people are stunned that we're in town.
Yoni wasn't even standing there with us. When we first came to the store, there was a woman who was just like staring at you, and she's like, You're Nachum. What are you doing here? And then she remembered that we were doing a show tomorrow. We're doing a broadcast tomorrow for the charity campaign to raise money for Toronto Hatzalah and the Eruv. We're looking forward to that tomorrow morning. But it all came full circle, and she was excited to know we were here. But then she started talking about it. She listens to the app.
Right.
She's familiar with all our shows. She recognized my voice as well. She's like, I know you too. I'm like, yeah, we're here. We're really here.
We're here. We're in Toronto. And like I say, we're in the place that you need to be if you're going to visit Toronto for just a few hours. Right. And that's Sobey's here in the Thornhill section of Toronto, Ontario. We are going to invite guests from the store to join us. Mm-hmm. We're going to speak more in detail about some of the products that are here. We do want to remind everybody that kosher.com, as I said earlier, making a major impact in the world of kosher food and in general with information about kosher food to the entire world through their website, continues to feature a whole bunch of recipes, a lot of latest news regarding new products, and the affiliated companies that they're with are some of the biggest powerhouses in kosher food.
And also the video tutorials that they offer in terms of how to, whether it's make a babka or make a challah or make a good soup or how to present a table nicely for the chagim, whatever it is, kosher.com seems to be hitting it. And they generate a tremendous amount of traffic. They are a catchphrase in and of themselves at
Smile,
this point.
We got people taking pictures.
Even in and of themselves at this point, kosher.com is its own name. You can go to kosher.com and you'll be floored by the array of recipes and menu options, etc.
And recommendations.
And also personalities. I mean, our own Naomi Nachman is featured. And there are a number of different well-known chefs and bloggers and named people in the food industry who have really gained prominence over the last number of years and are all featured as on kosher.com.
We've got a real crossover. We've got Naomi Nachman, who started with us, and now she's as well featured on kosher.com.
She's done great. By the way, you and I have mentioned before that on one of our trips to Kedem, sitting in the conference room, that this is a bottle shape.
That we had never seen.
Correct. We see this one.
Right.
I've never seen this one.
How many ounces in that one?
This one
This is 25 and a half. What's
22.
That? All right, so the 25.4 we had never seen.
In a wine bottle.
For sale. Right, it looks like a wine bottle. It's a grape juice in a wine bottle.
Right.
But it's here. It's here on the shelves, obviously. You took it off the shelves to bring here. And everybody out there, obviously one of the companies that Kosher.com is affiliated with is Kedem. And they as well appear on the table in front of us, the set that Miriam Alwala created for this unique show from Sobey's. All right, did you notice, we always do this whenever we go to a supermarket, and we've done a lot of supermarket shows in the past. Did you notice where they placed us? They placed us right next to the cauliflower. Explain that.
Well, do you like cauliflower? That's as much as I got.
I do, but I just thought it would be funny because you being the vegetable nut that you are.
Yes.
I thought it would be funny that you're sitting next to a big, big bucket of cauliflower heads over here.
That is a pretty big stash.
Say the least.
When we were walking around the store initially, when we had just arrived here in Toronto, and Yoni and I are walking around, and you're speaking to some of the managerial staff here, some of whom we'll meet hopefully during this program. Yoni and I are walking around, and I'm totally floored by the produce and by just the expanse of everything. I looked at him, I go, I almost want to start cooking. Like, I was this close to offering to make dinner Yes,
unfortunately, the two of us here, meaning Yoni and myself, know that you're being truthful about
I am
this.
being dead serious. I was this close to offer. I'm like, can I just make something here? But everything is so enticing. And you should know, by the way, that the entire store itself is not kosher. There are non-kosher aisles. The kosher
or regular aisles, we should say, with plenty of kosher items.
Good, old-fashioned secular. I am knocking over these popcorners. There are a number of aisles that are open on Shabbos. It's all of the prepared areas, the specialty areas, that are all kosher and that all close at 1:30 on Friday. And so the staff here has said that up until 1:30, it is a madhouse.
I can imagine that it's dead.
Right, and she said on Saturday you could hear a pin drop around here.
That's the day we recommend to our non-Jewish friends to shop.
Exactly. That's like when I tell Dora to go to Costco.
Exactly, and I told my friends in the Catskills.
Right.
That's when you go to shop.
That's when you go to shop. Right.
All right, we are here at Sobey's in Toronto. We're broadcasting live at the Nachum Segal Network in advance of our big show tomorrow morning. We have a big show tonight, and that's this one here from Sobey's. I want to thank our friends at Kosher.com and all its affiliated companies and brands, including Geffen and Kedem and Tuscanini and Heaven on Earth. And am I leaving anybody out? And Wisotsky Tea. Those are among the group of brands that we are featuring tonight, and we'll get into detail about some of them coming up. And, of course, we'll speak to some of the staff members here. We're at Sobey's in Toronto, and I want to thank Canada for welcoming us here north of the border. Thank you the entire country.
Yes, the entire country.
Didn't you notice when we crossed the border by I guess officially checking in at customs at the airport? Didn't you notice how everybody was giving us this wonderful greeting as if they had been waiting for us for years?
Did you not notice that as we were walking to the rental car place, there was like a cocktail party going on?
Yeah, what was that about?
I don't know. I thought that was our welcoming
party.
That
was interesting. I thought it was just...
That's very nice. These Canadians are very nice.
I guess so, but it's funny.
There was a fruit platter.
But we walked by and didn't say a word to us.
No.
I got suspicious that it actually wasn't in celebration of our arrival.
No, we should have just said, we're here with Yummy.
That might have helped. That might have actually worked, frankly.
By the way, we're going to be tasting this Tuscanini sauce because everybody keeps raving about it. And
how many varieties?
There are three varieties on the.
And there's more than that?
Here. I'm not sure, honestly.
Wow.
I don't think so. I think those are the three featured ones. So we're going to be giving one of them a test try.
All right.
A test run, so to speak. And there are a bunch of other products that we're going to go to.
All right. We'll do this selection from Yaakov Shweki. Be back with more. We'll be joined by some of the staff here. And, of course, have plenty of more for Kosher.com and all of its affiliated brands as we broadcast live from Toronto, Canada. We're at Sobey's. This is the place to be in Toronto. You're listening to the Nachum Segal Network.
סלע בתוך ההר יכול להיסדק, חבל אשר נקשר יכול להתנתק, מה שכתוב על דף יכול להימחק, אבן בתוך חומה תוכל להתפורר, אבל עם ישראל חי כאן לעולם, אבל עם ישראל חי לעולם. תוכל להתפורר, אבל עם ישראל חי לעולם, אבל עם ישראל חי לעולם, נצח ישראל, לא לא ישקר, כי עמנו כן, כי עמנו כן, נצח ישראל לא ישקר, לא ישקר, נצח ישראל, לא לא ישקר, כי עמנו כן, כי עמנו כן, נצח ישראל לא ישקר, לא
Probably all parm except for the cheese.
נצח ישראל, לא לא ישקר, כי עמנו כן, כי עמנו כן, נצח ישראל לא ישקר.
That's Yaakov Shweki. We're live at Sobey's in Toronto. A couple of comments already on the app. Shlomi E is out there. Is Shlomi E outside of this time zone? I always forget. He's not. He's in the Eastern time zone? Because I just realized that we're on at 7 o'clock. For people in the other time zones in this country, a lot of them are still at work. A lot of them are, tuned in
a lot
at
of
their
them are still
desk.
fasting.
And a lot of them are still fasting. That's
Sorry.
right. Wow.
Sorry, I will not chew on the air.
Shlomi E says, gotta mention the Heaven and Earth biscotti thins. They are delicious.
All right, I'll go find them, Shlomi.
Biscotti thins from Heaven and Earth. And user 1948, and of course I'm looking up to see who that is right now. user 1948 says, welcome to TO. I think that means welcome to Toronto. All right. So thank you very much for that.
Thank you very much.
Appreciate
Are you
that.
cutting my mic so that nobody hears me chewing the popcorners?
So,
oh my gosh!
Oh, that's why you were taking that.
What
Right.
is
That's
going
that's a
on?
good one. I'm very proud of you.
Well,
Onisi. Very proud of you.
stop.
The Geffen popcorn. I do want one, but I'm going to wait until I'm off the air. Geffen popcorners are amazing.
Yikes. Okay.
And Miriam L. Wallach is trying some of them right now as we feature the Geffen brand and a whole bunch of other brands that are affiliated with Kosher.com. And we thank Kosher.com for sending us on a Tuesday evening to Sobey's here in Toronto. And one thing's quite obvious from the clientele that we're watching, and that is that in situations like this, as you described earlier, where you have your regular supermarket and then some sort of kosher section, and there are cities that we're thinking of as I say that, the general population that walks in regularly is not necessarily from the Jewish community. Here, it's obvious from what we've seen that we have a large percentage of the customers here coming from the community here in Toronto and enjoying this amazing setup. So kudos to Sobey's, and a big shout out to everybody who's in Toronto who's coming on by, even people who are taking some pictures and enjoying the fact that we're here all the way from New York, and some of them finding it hard to believe that we're here from New York, which is really nice.
We have done shows in other supermarkets.
Right.
In other generic, secular?
Right.
Non-denominational? What's the word?
Regular chains.
Regular.
Right, regular
we can
chains.
use them. Regular chain supermarkets.
Or major chains, maybe we
Or
should say.
major chain supermarkets that meet the needs of greater communities.
Right.
Okay? And they have certainly met the needs of their Jewish clientele, by making sure that there's adequate dairy products, which often are hard to come by, and meat sections and poultry sections. Again, if you're that major supermarket, that community may not have a butcher, and therefore you're their go-to.
Right.
Here, that's not the case. Here, they've gone above and beyond to meet the needs of the Jewish community, featuring all of these sections. And then there are other sections that are,
Standard.
that are standard sections. But what's interesting to me is the number of people who are not wearing kippot,
Right.
who are all buying the takeout.
Right.
Because why not?
Yeah, must be known as good stuff.
Correct.
Because everyone's raving about it. And just here,
They've already refilled that rotisserie chicken section
and I was
twice
just,
since we've sat here.
And I was just about to ask you about the rotisserie chicken section. Why is it that those chickens look so
good? And I don't eat meat, and they look so good.
They look so good, and they're
Yeah.
done so well. And I love the whole carrying case idea for a chicken is very unique.
Right.
Well, and those
chickens
very
could
unique.
walk on their own,
Yeah,
their own, but
you'd
not
think.
anymore. Yeah, exactly.
So they have their own little carrying case, which is funny.
Right, but also there are a variety of products, again, that I mentioned in the first segment, but there are a variety of products that I don't see in New York.
Oh, so this was explained to me earlier today.
Okay. We're going to get Rabbi David on.
When the rabbi comes over here and
Mm-hmm.
joins us on the show, this is one of the things I'm going to ask him about. He had two really interesting comments when I was speaking to him off the air.
Okay.
One had to do with how they maintain freshness in all their departments, including produce and kosher food, including takeout. And
Not only in the produce and the takeout.
Excuse me. And
but
not
also.
Only, and then in addition to that, sometimes you have to sneeze, And then in addition to that, he pointed out.
Somebody once asked, what happens when Nachum has to sneeze on the air? I'm like, he sneezes. Two people today have been like, we didn't realize you were that tall. Right. He doesn't sound that tall on the radio.
Yeah, the tall thing really came back to roost. I had not heard that one in a long time.
And Ray, by the way, one of the managers here, says to me when I said, yeah, he doesn't sound that tall on radio, he looks at me and goes, ba-dum-bum. And I said, oh, thank you. Thank you. You're my wingman. Yeah.
The other thing the rabbi spoke about was availability of product. And I believe, and again, I'm not giving details, I want him to do it, but I have a feeling that being north of the border, being outside of the United States, helps in their effort to do things that you will not see in other kosher supermarkets. And we'll see if he'll comment about that, and he'll tell us about it a little later on. But those are two of the things that I spoke to him about. And, sometimes we forget. A lot of people look at Toronto as another city in America.
Right, an extension of America.
And there's
no honking here, folks.
One thing I will tell you, in addition to the friends that we have that are always going back and forth from New York to Toronto, there's the rabbi. One of the very active corridors, is Lakewood to Toronto.
Right.
And, so you can imagine a very active group of people that are constantly visiting, constantly spending time here from that area of the country. So with all of that, we have to sometimes keep in mind that this is not a city in the United States.
No, it's not.
A city in North America.
And by the way, I'm pretty sure they take offense to that.
Of course. Why wouldn't they?
Why wouldn't they is right.
Yeah.
But, but the other thing, by the way, when we landed, after Nachum was shoehorned onto a plane.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't even know if that's fair to me to say that. They didn't even use a shoehorn. They forced me in somehow.
They just kicked you from the back and pushed you right in.
I mean, we may as well have had one of those 10-seaters. And I don't mean private plane 10-seaters. I'm talking about one of those, jump planes, whatever they call it.
I will tell you, I did a lot of breathing techniques sitting in the back of the plane. But that's not the point. When we landed and came out onto the tarmac, I looked at Yoni. I'm like, come on, Canada. And he's like, no, I like this. This is so nice. I'm like, it's such a Yoni thing.
Well, he said, as we were walking from the plane,
that was a long walk.
Oh, was that long?
Yeah.
He said to me, I enjoy this landing and then stepping onto the tarmac. And I said, you don't realize that this is the way it always was. There were no jetways in my day, Like
Forget it. I mean, Yoni, do you have any memory of landing in Ben Gurion and getting on a bus?
Wow.
Whoa. And he shook his head no, by the way.
And I think that was only 2005. I think the new terminal opened in 2005. It was supposed to open for 2000, of course, but I think they were 5 years late. The new terminal, I think, opened in 2005. So he's,
That's crazy.
And his first trip was in 2010. Unbelievable. All right,
we're
Wally,
making pizza.
you want me to do this while we transition?
Yeah,
or?
do me a favor.
All right,
Let's
so
go
let
to
me
that,
remind
Yoni.
let me remind everybody that our friends at kosher.com have announced the following. They are looking for bakers with an original challah recipe and an Instagram account. Anybody who's a baker with an original challah recipe and an Instagram account, you have until January the 8th to whip up your finest braided loaf for a shot at $1,000 and the chance to rise to fame. The Shibolim Whole Wheat Challah competition is hosted by kosher.com, the go-to source for a kosher lifestyle, and Shibolim Whole Wheat Flour. Anyone can enter. Contestants will vie for 3 exciting prizes. The grand prize, $1,000 plus a guest spot on Naomi Nachman's popular kosher.com video web series, Sunny Side Up. Second prize, a Bosch mixer from Kitchen Caboodles. And third prize, a beautiful designer challah cover from Danke Judaica in England. Danke Judaica in England. How to enter. Challah recipes must be your own original recipe. Must use Shibolim whole wheat flour. Post a baking video and clearly written recipe up to 1 minute showing you speaking with the final product on your Instagram feed. Make sure to tag at kosher.com and hashtag Shibolim contest on your post. First place winners must be available in the tri-state area in order to film with Naomi Nachman. Challahs will be judged by final product quality, clarity of recipe, and personal presentation. Judges will include talent and staff from kosher.com. All entries must be received by Tuesday, January the 8th. Winners will be announced by January the 15th. Shibolim's full array of flours, great-tasting snacks, crackers, cereals, and more are made in Israel from nutritious whole grains, especially for the health-conscious consumer. Kosher.com, of course, is the premier site for kosher cooking and conversation and the place to go for all things kosher. Today, we are here at Sobey's in Toronto, courtesy of kosher.com and its affiliated brands, including the folks at Geffen, Tuscanini, Heaven and Earth, Kedem, Wisatsky Tea, and many, many others. Rabbi David Chaimpour is a mashgiach of Sobey's. That's right. The legendary Sobey's has an amazing mashgiach.
One of them.
And that's one of the mashgiachim here at Sobey's. That's Rabbi David. Thank you so much for joining me here today.
Thank you for having me.
Earlier, I was in the middle of a conversation with Rabbi David and did not know how to tell him that everything we're discussing I would much rather do on the air, so I apologize for that. But now here we go. Here we have an opportunity to discuss this incredible store and all the incredible things that it does for the community up here in Toronto live on the air with all of our listeners. So first of all, do you have any clue how long Sobey's has had this kosher arrangement, how long this store in the Thornhill area of Toronto, Ontario has had this type of accommodation for the Jewish community?
It wasn't as big when they started, but it started in about 26 years ago. It was a 24-hour store.
Wow.
And eventually the meat department decided that they want to get rid of all the trafe. And they got rid of, the manager of Sobey's decided from the meat department that they want to get rid of all the trafe in the store, fresh trafe. And they got rid of it and they expanded it into only kosher. And eventually, year by year, they decided to cut down many, many things. And about 18 years ago, it was fully, anything that's produced in Sobey's is kosher.
And today, as we've been telling our listeners, you have a bakery, you have sushi, fresh meat, cheese, deli, this incredible kosher kitchen, which you told me later in the week is even much more busy and has many more selections than it has now.
Absolutely.
And
Pizza shop.
And a pizza shop right here live on the premises. And once it turns Friday at 1:30, it's a much quieter supermarket.
Absolutely not. It's the most busiest. It's like a zoo here.
Until 1:30 Friday. Oh, even later than that.
Even later
when
than
necessary.
That, because
as long as the mashgiach approves.
No. We start locking up,
right.
But we don't finish locking up till about 2:15. And people still have to buy flowers. People still have to buy dessert. We talk about ice cream. I think we have the largest ice cream section in the world. We have 24 doors full of kosher ice cream. That's something that no one else has.
All right. Now, you earlier alluded to, in our conversation, a couple of reasons why this supermarket, again, not serving the largest Jewish community in the world, but serving a rather significant Jewish community, why this one has more kosher products and is likely larger in terms of its offerings than any other kosher supermarket in North America.
Number one is all the
The varieties?
No,
Products?
vendors.
Ah.
All the vendors. We have a lot of Jewish vendors, and they are the ones who supply the store with ideas and everything. We have Ultra Food, who is one of the biggest vendors here in Toronto right now, and they're the one who's supplying Tuscanini and Geffen, all the big companies. They do a phenomenal job. They have a phenomenal salesman, and their idea is unbelievable. And we get the first shot at everything. If you can't find it in Sobey's, you won't find it anywhere.
And that includes the New York area. If it's not here, it's not going to be anywhere.
Well, that's true.
At least that's the way it seems to me as I'm walking around here.
True. We have a lot of product, especially from Israel, from all over the world.
Now, is it advantageous? You mentioned Israel and a lot of products from Israel and unique items. Is it advantageous not to be in the States? Is it easier to get product to Canada from Israel, or it's not
From
really?
Israel, yes. They have a
Oh,
great,
so that would be one of the advantages.
Yeah, they have a great connection with Israel, so they're able to get things 1, 2, 3 comes off the boat. We get it within 4 to 6 weeks. So whatever you order, we get it 1, 2, 3.
Are you
If
sometimes amazed at the cheese selection and the and the variety in some of the sections
Actually,
here?
our cheeses have determined. It went down. It wasn't as we used to have a lot more varieties, but the government, not the government, a couple of companies have closing down the place, where they put a monopoly on this cheese. Everything else is fine, but on the cheese there's a little bit.
Well, it still looked pretty impressive to me. And in addition to the Israel angle, there's a Canada angle. You said there's a lot of different products that are actually made right here or in the area.
Correct.
That Canada's well known for, and obviously this is going to be the first place they're going to bring the product to.
If you look at the most kosher companies, some kosher companies, their stuff is made in Canada. It's made right here around within the radius of, let's say, 20 minutes.
Oh, interesting.
So, and they send it from here sometimes. It's crazy that sometimes they would send it here to New York. From New York it goes to Montreal, and from Montreal it comes back here.
That's how it works.
Sometimes.
If you're using a certain type of distributor,
Correct.
I assume. Right.
That's right.
Rabbi David Chaim Por is here. He's one of the mashgichim here at Sobey's. We talk about this unique and incredible supermarket. As many of you know, we are in Toronto, and we are here tonight doing a live radio show with our friends at kosher.com and all their affiliated brands. Earlier today, you told me that one of the things this supermarket is extremely careful about is freshness.
Absolutely.
And not every supermarket will adhere to the same policies that this one has. And it's one of the reasons that there's such a reputation for fresh food, fresh produce, etc. Now, without getting into detail, because you'll say to the public what you feel is appropriate, people should just realize that if something is on the shelf for a relatively short amount of time, it likely is not going to be sold to the public after that short amount of time.
We talk about fresh food mostly, and the fresh food has about 4 to 5 days. And don't forget that the store is being watched by the government and health critics. There's a lot of people who come constantly drop by to check the store. So it's not like a grocery store where no one comes to check. It's a corporation. Corporations are run by different policies and different rules, and they have certain standards.
So once 4 or 5 days goes by, there's certain things that'll never be seen again.
No, it's not that never seen. They will be fresh.
Yeah, I'm saying, but that specific product will
Correct.
be replaced by something that's completely fresh. Let's put it that way.
Correct.
And that policy helps in maintaining a very strong reputation, I assume.
I hope so.
Well, if you've lasted this long, I would think so. That's for sure. We know. Yeah, I'm sorry.
The store just renovated about a year and a half ago. We just put $13 million in the store.
Just this location.
Just this. Well, 5 of them, but this was one of them.
Wow, interesting. We know what a mashgiach, what the role of a mashgiach is in a restaurant. We know what the role of the mashgiach is, I guess, in a smaller establishment. When you're called mashgiach here, there are a lot of different departments. There's a lot going on. There's a lot of deliveries, I'm sure. There's a lot. So how is your job much different than what we know as the traditional mashgiach?
Responsibility is a lot higher, much higher, because they have to be in different departments at different times. There's 2 of us. We take different shifts. One, sometimes I open in the morning. The other mishgiach, my partner, opens up in the later on, and we switch. And we communicate 24/7. We work for the COR, which is one of the largest companies is Cashiers Council of Canada, which happens to be, I think, a very strong Cashiers Council.
Is that based in Toronto?
It's based in Toronto, correct. It is the company is COR, and it's incredible. We are one united family. So if I have a problem, let's say a product that comes from outside from the store, because we get some deliveries, we get many times that there's questions, I could just pick up the phone and call the mishkiach, and nobody would say, well, I said so, it's good, it's not good. You know, we communicate, we have no issues with each other. We're one big family. So it's an incredible thing. And I'm coming from New York. I'm from Brooklyn.
So you know what it's like.
Yes. I know what it is to get a run around, and you never get the answers, you don't get the things, but thank God, Baruch Hashem. We are very, very fortunate for this. It's
Speaking with Rabbi David Chaim Por, one of the mashgichim here at Sobey's now, could you give us a word about some of the products that we have here tonight? Is there anything in particular that strikes your fancy? I saw you were actually carrying. Were you carrying one of the products earlier?
Yeah,
which was the one you brought over to us?
I brought the Tuscanini pizzas. And
right.
that is a very, very high item here. We sell, I don't know, about skid and a half.
That means what? Skid and a half. What is that in layman's terms?
300 to 500 boxes a week.
Oh, wow.
If not more.
This is a popular item, is right.
Yeah, it is. People just throw it. Don't forget it's baked. And
right.
It's oven baked. It's an Italian item. It's supposed to taste good. People love it. And they just serve the kids. It's cheaper than buying pizza.
Rabbi Chaim Por reminds us about the Tuscanini premium handmade wood-fired gourmet pizza. They have the grilled vegetable with pepper, zucchini, and eggplant. And they have the Classico margarita pizza. Looks pretty good.
And also the mushroom.
That's a great photo. There's a third variety, the mushroom as well. Just one of the examples of product that's available here at Tuscanini. Or I should say at Sobey's from Tuscanini. And again, a big thank you to our friends at kosher.com for making this a evening possible for us to come and see this amazing supermarket. Give me a word, because you know what it's like, especially when people come from New York. They're so curious to know about the size and the length and breadth of the community. How many kosher restaurants are in town? Like, what could you tell us approximately? What can you tell us that would give us an indication of how large or how active a Toronto Jewish community is?
It varies, about 50, 55.
Could there be that many?
Yes, there could be that many.
And plenty of synagogues.
Oh, yeah,
plenty of yeshivas.
Plenty of yeshivas.
Is there a Hasidic community up here?
Absolutely. Not up here, but down south there is.
Meaning south
Actually, there is, down the block is the Lubavitch community,
right.
Chabad house. There's about 24 Chabad houses around the neighborhood.
Wow. Toronto itself could have 24 Chabad houses?
Maybe no. I think more than
Even
that.
more than that?
Yeah, much more than that.
Wow.
Because as you go further up, there is secular Jews, and Chabad is always there.
So we spoke about restaurants, we spoke about shuls, we spoke about yeshivas.
There's down south.
Right.
Yeah, Bubba down south, that Chassidim, and it's a very, very close community. There's a lot of things happening in Toronto. You have to come and see it for yourself.
Yeah, well, that's why we're here, but I don't know if we'll be here long enough to see it all, frankly. And I know there's an Eruv in town that we know because
Absolutely.
tomorrow's big campaigns. There's an Eruv in town. There's an active Hatzalah in town.
The Hatzalah here is incredible. There is nothing like that. These guys are, I can't tell you, the devotion of these people are incredible. I've seen them in action so many times from my neighbors and things. It's just, there's a achdus here that I haven't seen anywhere else.
Interesting. You went straight from New York to Toronto?
Straight from Brooklyn to Toronto.
And the big culture shock, big difference, or?
I chose it, so no.
So
I love it.
So you really like it up
If you
here.
want to raise a family, this is the place to be.
You really like it up here.
Absolutely.
Just say this. Are you a hockey fan?
Not any sports fan.
No, okay. So I can't even go in that direction. Well, is there anything else you'd like to add? Anything else you'd like to tell the public about either Sobey's or the city of Toronto, the Jewish community of Toronto?
The Jewish community of Toronto is incredible. There is nothing like them. They're Bala Chesed. They have a lot of kindness. They do a lot of good things. Torontonians are known. They're big Zionists, religious Zionists, and they support the state of Israel like incredibly. And we have aliyahs from our shul about 4 or 5 a year. That's something unheard of.
Right.
The children, any kid that's brought up here around this neighborhood in Toronto, eventually moves to Israel.
Very interesting.
It's very, very interesting. This is and it's funny when they come back. The first place they visit is Sobey's.
That's what they miss. That's the one thing they really miss when they're in Israel.
Nobody has this story.
Can you join us again in hour number 2? We'll do some more products and talk a little bit more.
Absolutely.
I appreciate it.
It's a pleasure.
Our official host here at Sobey's is Rabbi David Chaim Por, who's one of the mashgichim here. We are here with our friends at kosher.com, and remind everybody you can go to kosher.com for information about the big whole wheat challah contest with Shibolim. I bet you have Shibolim products here also. There you go.
Check the shelf, aisle number 4.
Aisle number 4 has Shibolim. And of course, all its affiliated brands, including Tuscanini, Heaven and Earth, Kedem, Geffen, Wisatsky Tea, all part of tonight's broadcast, and I thank all of them very, very much. More coming up. Keep it here on a Tuesday evening edition as we continue from Sobey's in Toronto, Canada. This is the Nachum Segal Network. Thank you, Rabbi. Great job. Great job, Rabbi. Oh, you'll get it. Of course you will. Do you have your email? I'm about to play him. I'm literally playing him right now. That's funny.
Hallelujah, es Shem Hashem, es Shem Hashem, Hallelujah. Shiru lo, Shichodosh, Zamu lo, Ki nisgov Shemo. Hallelujah, es Shem Hashem, es Shem Hashem, Hallelujah. Shiru lo, Shichodosh, Zamu lo, Ki nisgov Shemo. Levadoi,
my gosh. Thank you. We must reward these people somehow.
Yeah, hallelujah. Het Shem Hashem, het Shem Hashem. Yeah, hallelujah. Shiru lo, Shi Chodosh. Zamu lo, ki nizgor shemo. Yeah, hallelujah. Levadoi.
They're holding other products.
Het Shem Hashem, het Shem Hashem, yeah, hallelujah. Shiru lo, Shi Chodosh. Zamu lo, ki nizgor shemo. Yeah, hallelujah. Het Shem Hashem, het Shem Hashem, yeah, hallelujah. Shiru lo, Shi Chodosh. Zamu lo, ki nizgor shemo. Levadoi, levadoi.
We solved that problem.
Ki nizgor shemo, levadoi, levadoi.
What?
Levadoi. Yeah, hallelujah, Shem Hashem. Levadoi, levadoi. Ki nizgor shemo, levadoi, levadoi, levadoi. Zamu lo, ki nizgor shemo.
Don't ask. I could just tell in 3 minutes I did the entire thing. I gotta recover.
Yeah, hallelujah, Shem Hashem, Shem Hashem, yeah, hallelujah, Shiru lo, Shi Chodosh, Zamu lo, ki nizgor shemo. Levadoi, levadoi, ki nizgor shemo. Levadoi, levadoi, levadoi. Yeah, hallelujah, Shem Hashem. Levadoi, levadoi, levadoi. Ki nizgor shemo. Levadoi, levadoi, levadoi. Zamu lo, ki nizgor shemo.
All right, it's an Nachum Single Network with Ohad. Well, apparently Judy Landy, one of our... Is that mine?
Yes. Yes, it is.
It didn't seem right. Oh, here we go. This is mine.
Oh, excellent.
This is mine.
Hello.
Judy Landy, who is a wonderful fan of ours in the New York area. Apparently, she strongly suggested.
Seems.
I think she demanded, but
Sounds
she
like.
strongly suggested to the. Is it Berman? The Berman family? Perman? The Perman family of Southern Toronto to come and say hi to us here at Sobey's. And look at this. They showed up.
They drove a half an hour.
A half-an-hour trip all the way up here in order to say hi, and I thank them very, very much.
Post fast. They got in the car.
They've got their.
They're sporting their hats.
They've got their Jam ski caps, which is a great addition to their family experience. And Judy, they say hi and we say hi.
And we thank you as always.
Thank you very much. Enjoy that long trip back. Getting here with the anticipation of getting to Sobey's is one thing.
We also had a long trip back.
Take a trip back.
They're
Anyway,
cute.
so we learned a lot from the rabbi, didn't we?
He's great.
He certainly is. And this is an establishment to be very, very proud of. I said to you earlier in the show that about 15 years ago, I was told that you know how we always talk about going to London? And I always say if we go to London,
Yes.
we're going to broadcast from Kosher Kingdom because that's the kosher supermarket there. At least that's what we've been told till now. So for 15 years, whenever I've talked about going to Toronto, I've been told that this is the place. Sobey's is the place to go to. We're going to broadcast from here. And finally, we made it. Finally, we made it. Here it is. And it's funny how different it is than I thought it would be after hearing about it all this time, but it's pretty impressive, I must say.
It's beautiful.
And you've brought some pizza from
I
the
have.
actual, there's a pizza store, a kosher pizza store in the center of Sobey's.
The equivalent of going to like a sporting event and being able to go up and get a hot dog
Right.
is being able to buy a slice of pizza actually in the supermarket or anything else for that matter.
So people shop and eat their pizza at the same time.
They come here, they're sitting at the
Right,
tables.
they could sit at the table if they wanted to,
Right.
but if they're really pressed for time, they could shop and eat their pizza at the same time as well.
Right. I by the way, I'm going to ask the rabbi during hour number 2 what this place is like Erev Pesach.
I can imagine.
That, folks, that's an hour number 2 conversation.
All right, so the pizza's here. I know that I usually have a policy I won't eat on the air, but after all,
Right. We're going to break that, and I also
We're gonna break that
don't eat
tradition.
gluten, and I'm breaking that also.
ooh, that's a dangerous commitment to break.
It's worth it. This is good. Yoni can have also. Here, this is with
Really good.
and with goat cheese. So I asked the woman who was making the pizza, I said, do you make the crust also? She said, no, the crust is made in the bakery. I'm like, right, that would make sense. So they take it from one department, move it to the another department. Yeah, it's a good product. It's a good product. And by the way, one of my favorite things is when there's a coffee machine at the supermarket. But I had to, I was trying to pay with a $5 bill, American dollar bill. So they had to change my money so that I could buy coffee. I ended up making money on the deal.
How much do they give you?
I gave them a $5 bill. They gave me back $5 Canadian dollars, and I guess these are 50 cents. Yeah, 50 cents. And only for, I brought napkins, Yoni.
Thank you, Yoni.
Only for Ray, the manager here this on shift tonight, who has been taking care of us left and right, to look at me and say, I'll give you a cup of coffee. And so now
Now you're stuck with $5.5 Canadian dollars.
Right. I'm sure there's plenty to do with it.
Is that that's the washing station? It's a supermarket
There
with
is
a
a
washing
washing station.
That's unbelievable.
Talk about meeting the needs of the community. Talk about making sure
Where's
that
the
you
coffee
come and you
machine?
stay. On the other side of the flowers. The flowers.
And what does it cost, a cup of coffee?
$1.
$1?
Yes.
Canadian dollar.
Yes. So that makes it, I don't know,
Interesting.
less than an American dollar.
Very interesting.
Yeah. But again, meeting the needs of the community, meeting the greater needs, making sure that they feel comfortable, that's a big deal. That's really a big deal.
Yoni's welcoming our guests as we continue with our show. More and more people coming by to say hi at the Sobeys, and we appreciate it very much.
And we again appreciate kosher.com bringing us here today to Sobeys, setting us up here, sponsoring our programming. Take a look at all of these products, folks. The Tuscanini line, which people have been raving about, really authentic Italian.
Well, we said we would talk about the
Right, and I figured we would
Tuscanini-
dip, you got 3 choices here.
the
Malcolm.
Napolitana pasta sauce. What's that one called? The Zesty Marinara. What's the third one over there?
This is classic marinara.
These are all from Tuscanini.
Right, so you pick one, and I figured we could do that, we could dip our pizza in there.
Dip the pizza in the pasta sauce.
Okay. Just pick a sauce. Decide which one you want. Which one do you want?
Well, that one actually looks pretty good.
You
They
want-
all look good.
You want the one with the vegetables in it?
Why not?
I don't know.
Make
Okay.
it a healthy meal.
Wow, yeah, that's
Make it a healthier meal.
Right. Okay. 1 second. Move the Canadian money out of the way.
Kosher.com invites you to bake an original challah recipe, and if you have an Instagram account, you have until January 8th to whip up the finest braided loaf for a shot at $1,000 and a chance to rise to fame.
I need that plate.
Grand prize is $1,000 and a guest spot on Naomi Nachman's popular Kosher.com video web series Sunny Side Up. Second prize, a Bosch mixer from Kitchen Caboodles. Third prize, a beautiful designer challah cover. All you got to do is use the Shibolim whole wheat flour, post a baking video and clearly written recipe showing you speaking with the final product on your Instagram feed. Tag kosher.com and hashtag Shibolim contest in your post. And the first place winners must be available in the tri-state area to film with Naomi Nachman. Entries got to be received by January the 8th. Winners will be announced by January the 15th. Details, kosher.com. Again, details go to kosher.com. I want to thank them and all of the affiliated brands of kosher.com who have brought us here to the amazing Sobeys. Thank you very much. And that includes a thank you to Geffen and Kedem and Tuscanini and Heaven and Earth and Wasatsky Tea. And now I'm going to try this incredible
It's delicious. It actually tastes like tomatoes.
Tuscanini.
There are actual tomatoes in there.
So kosher tomato sauces in the past didn't have...
No. I mean, if the first ingredient is tomatoes, you're lucky.
Mm-hmm.
But that's not necessarily the case. You can taste it here. That's a good product. That's a real tomato product.
Wow.
That's nice. By the way, do you think I can enter the challah contest? I can enter Naomi's challah contest? Or no? Do you think it's too close to home?
That's actually a good question.
We should ask the rabbi during hour number 2. It's a shiloh.
We'll ask the legal department of the Nachum Segal Network to look into it. Our
Ow.
general counsel.
Yeah, well, general counsel is used to nixing everything, so probably not.
And once general counsel hears that it's going to be done in your kitchen, that really may... who needs more whole wheat challah coming out of your kitchen, after all? So that could put an end to that.
That might. By the way, this...
I'm sorry.
No, I'm going to be bringing... I was just having a conversation with a couple of shoppers who came in who knew that we were here, so they came by to see everything that was going on. And I was talking to them about the prices. And I said, you don't understand. Like, right now, cauliflower, I mean, not to make a joke about the cauliflower again, but cauliflower in New York, when we left, which was otherwise known as this morning, was between $4 and $5 a head.
What's this?
$2.50.
You know, it's funny because...
I'm not going to jail over it, but that's not the point.
Because earlier...
Yeah.
You had gotten the box of cheese Danish.
Right.
And I said to myself, $3.50 for this entire box?
Right,
it makes no sense.
It was 10 pieces.
There were like 10 pieces in there. It made no sense at all.
Right.
So I guess it's worth a trip to Toronto, not just to visit the community, but to do some shopping as well.
Right, and then figure out a way to bring it back.
Well, that's a different story.
That is a different story, especially on the plane that we came on. There's no room to bring back any cauliflower.
No room for a slice of cheese anywhere. All right, let's check out some of the comments that are coming through on our app. First of all, Mora C says, it's an honor to have you here.
Oh, thank you, Mora.
He says, we recently had the mushroom pizza in Chicago. It was very good. I think he's referring to the Tuscanini. So thank you for that.
Fabulous. And and he knows. I mean, we've been to Chicago. We've done shows there.
Yeah. And
I'm holding the pizza.
And Yankee fan says that there's a surprise from the Maccabees. Apparently they have a surprise brand new video called It's Shabbos.
Oh, but they don't have a surprise for us, do they?
I don't know. It's Shabbat? Do we know about that one?
I don't know.
I don't know. Anyway, that's written on our app. So I welcome those of you who are commenting on the app. Continue to do so. Go to the Nachum Segal Network app for Android and iPhone and comment away.
This is really
Let us know
good.
where you are, what you want to hear, et cetera, as we continue. Meanwhile, we'll wrap up, or I should say we'll start this hour with a little dinner, and then we'll get into some of the product here with Miriam Al-Wallach, and then invite back the rabbi whose services mashgiach here at Sobey. I want to thank everybody here at Sobey in Toronto. I want to thank Kosher.com, all its affiliated brands, including Tuscanini and Geffen and Kedem and Heaven and Earth and Wisatsky Tea. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here we go, everybody. We're in Canada. We've got Ari Goldwag at the Nachum Segal Network.
יחד לחיים, נשלב ידיים ונרקוד. זה שיר שיש לו את הקצב, כל הקצב, זה ניגון ששר טוב להודות. נעשה יחד לחיים, נשלב ידיים ונרקוד.
ישתבח שמו. ישתבח שמו.
ריבון העולמים, מצאתי שתי מילים שיהודים אומרים בכל מקום, על מה שכבר היה, מה שעוד לא קרה, לא משנה כי זה תמיד יהיה נכון. מודים אנחנו לו בכל יום ומהללים למרום. ישתבח שמו על כל מה שברא לי, על כל מה שקרה לי. ישתבח, ישתבח שמו על רגעים של אושר, על אור בתוך החושך. ישתבח, ישתבח שמו ביחד לעד לעולם. ישתבח שמו. ריבון העולמים, מצאתי שתי מילים שיהודים אומרים בכל מקום, על מה שכבר היה, מה שעוד לא קרה, לא משנה כי זה תמיד יהיה נכון. מודים אנחנו לו בכל יום ומהללים למרום. ישתבח שמו על כל מה שברא לי, על כל מה שקרה לי. ישתבח, ישתבח שמו על רגעים של אושר, על אור בתוך החושך. ישתבח, ישתבח שמו ביחד לעד לעולם. ישתבח שמו. על כל מה שברא לי, על כל מה שקרה לי, על כל מה שנתן לי. ישתבח שמו על רגעים של אושר, על אור בתוך החושך. ישתבח, ישתבח שמו על כל מה שברא לי, על כל מה שקרה לי. ישתבח, ישתבח שמו על רגעים של אושר, על אור בתוך החושך. ישתבח, ישתבח שמו. ישתבח שמו.
It's the Nachum Segal Network with Yaakov Shweki, a request from one of the shoppers at Sobey's. How do you like that? Someone who described this as the store around the corner, you know. Got to run into the market.
Right.
Here's what they run into.
She said that her friend needed raisins.
And that's why
so
she was
they
here.
came on in.
Interesting. Before that, some Miami music and a whole bunch of other stuff as we are being presented tonight by Kosher.com live from Toronto, Canada. Could you imagine we're in Toronto at Sobey's?
What do you want to open next?
Well, I wanted an explanation. Why is it that Tuscanini has this delicious and incredible tomato sauce in the 3 varieties, and that it took until now, until this era, to get a product like this to be kosher? Explain that to me. Why 20 years ago couldn't you find a kosher product with all these hashgachas on it that had this type of quality when it came to tomato sauce?
Okay, you're asking 10 different questions.
Okay.
Okay. Now, why you couldn't get this product a bunch of years ago with all the different hechsherim on it? That I cannot answer.
Right, but
that you can bring up with the Mashiach.
But do you as a chef sometimes say to yourself, I wonder when I was a kid
I just
why
got
I didn't
promoted.
I wonder when I was a kid why I didn't have this. I wonder when I was
Well,
a kid.
that first of all, because we pay greater attention now to quality and to, in my opinion, the purity of the product rather than the stuff that
So
you would
wasn't-
put together.
so wasn't-
the first ingredient here are chopped tomatoes. You know what the second ingredient is? Tomato paste. So chopped tomatoes is 69% of this product.
Wow.
Actual chopped tomatoes. Then the next ingredient, which is tomato paste, is 12.5%.
But that's why I'm
Onions,
saying.
carrots. I mean, those are the next two.
But that's why I'm so curious about this, because
Sugar is number 8 or 9 on this list. That's how far down it is, because they're actually putting in real vegetables.
right.
If we went through the variety of other products that were available on the shelf when I was a kid, the first ingredient would not be tomatoes.
And maybe, in all seriousness, ketchup and sweeter tasting products were of much more importance to the consumer then than they are now. Now we're looking for that real, authentic, incredible taste, and that's what Tuscanini has.
And also, there's no high fructose corn syrup in here.
Right.
High fructose corn syrup was in everything
Right.
in the 80s.
It's
And in
funny.
the 90s and well into the 2000s. Only when we became, as consumers, more aware of what we were eating did we demand better. And as a result, products like Tuscanini come around.
We're at Sobeys with kosher.com. We've spent a lot of time on the Tuscanini 3 varieties of tomato sauce, but what about these 2 items that are also under the Tuscanini label? What can you tell us about these 2 items that are in front of us?
I can tell you that I wanted to take a pot off the shelf and make ourselves some bada pasta.
I mean, that looks like really good
authentic
pasta.
stuff.
What's the story with that?
I don't know.
Is it the best kosher pasta out there?
It has to be, because if their pasta is anything, if it matches their tomato sauce,
Right, if it's that high quality.
right. And also, let's just look at the ingredients. There are 2 ingredients. There's durum wheat semolina, and there's water. That's it. There's no food coloring, and there's no this, and there's no that, and it's just a pure product.
You could sell a product to the kosher consumer that has only high quality, good for you ingredients.
Correct.
What we're learning here tonight.
I know. Who
And
would have
this
thought?
one, the parchment, what do they call parchment crackers?
Yeah, we're going to open these up.
All right, we're going to open these up, taste them a little bit here. They've got the nice silhouette of Italy on the cover.
I want to find you the, also, same thing.
What do they got?
The ingredients include remilled durum wheat semolina, olive oil, salt, rosemary, and brewer's yeast. Done.
Wow.
That's it.
Nothing
That's
artificial,
it.
huh?
There's
Nothing with numbers in
I
it.
can pronounce everything on this ingredient list. That's a big deal. All right, we're opening these up. And you know what's so much fun about these? Is that we've heard about them. We've talked about them on the air.
Parchment crackers.
Correct.
Right? That's what they call them, parchment
Yeah,
crackers.
parchment crackers. Okay. It would have been helpful if I had not gotten stitches in this finger. It's a pretty vital
I thought
finger.
you avoided the stitches.
Well, I didn't avoid everything else. Okay, here we go. Yeah, I'm like the walking wounded.
Another testament to all the time that you should. Another testament to all the time you spend in the kitchen.
Smell that. That's rosemary.
Wow.
That's not artificially flavored or scented. That's actual rosemary.
It's an amazing cracker.
It's so light.
Yeah. Yoni, try that out.
We should go to the cheese department,
Oh.
raid that, dip it with some tomato sauce.
And put it in the toaster oven for 25 seconds.
Exactly. They have to sell toaster ovens here.
I
What
would
else
hope-
can I buy?
I would hope so.
Of course. We're gonna bring back Rabbi David in a
Yes.
few minutes because we have a number of other things that we need to ask him. Again, we want to thank kosher.com. I think we should open the chip soon.
Okay, now, heaven and earth.
I'd like to thank God for giving us a fast day today. This was well planned.
Yeah, you prepared well. Heaven and Earth is a brand that we've gotten to know because of the different chips that they have available. But you say that there are another there's
I'm
another
bringing these
reason.
back.
Right, there's another reason why Heaven and Earth is meaningful to you, and that's because they have just like we know what instant oatmeal is, we know what instant soup is, we know what these instants in a cup are. These are instant what? Tell everybody what's in those.
It's instant quinoa, or I should say it's going to be rehydrated quinoa and chickpeas.
Right.
Which means that it's gluten-free, which means it has protein. The entire cup is 230 calories.
Which
and 5
means
grams
there
of
are
fat.
people that enjoy quinoa and chickpeas.
Correct.
Yeah.
That would be me.
Yeah.
And by the way, if I read you the ingredients, I can pronounce these also.
That's Heaven and Earth, it's called.
Heaven and Earth.
What's in the others?
Bayonne, New Jersey.
Same
Yes.
mixture? Or?
The same. Okay.
Oh,
This is-
boy.
all right. See, do you know what's happening right now?
Rabbi David's an
Rabbi
enabler.
David wants to get back on. Okay, 1 second. Hold on.
No,
Hold on.
No, wait.
What?
Wait. He'll join us in a minute. Hang on.
Okay.
Let's finish
Okay,
some of the
don't worry.
product line.
This is your segment, Rabbi. This is your segment. My God.
The rabbi.
Yeah, Hanukkah was last week.
The
last
rabbi
week.
just brought by some of the most delicious-looking donuts we've seen in a long
Ay,
time.
ay, ay.
We'll save that for his segment. And then, these are all quinoa and.
Yes.
Okay, those are all quinoa
But
and
I've
chickpeas.
never seen these in New York. They're gluten-free, they're vegan, and this is like the easiest thing to take to work.
You just toss boiling water in there.
Well, I wouldn't toss boiling water anywhere, but yes, in theory, you should pour boiling water. Let's start throwing boiling water at people.
Yoni, is there a,
No,
is there a
no,
problem with the toss boiling water expression?
Yoni just wants to make sure you're not tossing it in his direction.
We got to get him a microphone.
5 minutes. Water,
All right.
hot water, cover it, You know who's going to love this? Jamie. What are you looking for?
Because there's a box of Geffen Israeli couscous that's in front of you.
Yeah, but that I can't make in a cup.
Okay, but explain to me what that's all about. This is
Israeli couscous.
So you put it in the pot.
You treat it like pasta.
Right.
Okay.
Add
but
the
then
boiling
this one
water.
and then this is the instant couscous.
Okay.
Which
Wow, I didn't realize there's
I
so many
know.
varieties here.
That's crazy stuff going on. And then of course, you know why I pulled these off the shelf?
I'd like to know why you pulled those off the
know.
shelves. Did you plan on making those? She has Geffen cherry, raspberry, and lemon
Jell-O.
gel dessert
Right.
that I guess we would generically call
We would
Jell-O.
just call it Jell-O. It's fine to call it Jell-O.
Tell me why you pulled these off the
because
shelf.
kids love this. And because there are so many different
Do 2018 kids still eat Jell-O?
I guarantee you, it's like Friday Night in Marishal all over again from the 80s. Jell-O with whipped cream on
Hoping
top.
that at least 2 kids in the bunk would eat it.
It's every single childhood. It's everyone. It's a go-to. It's a
And
staple.
Geffen's got it.
Yeah.
And it's easy to prepare.
It's Nachum.
I could prepare
Even
it.
you could prepare it.
Imagine
that. Is correct. Even Yoni could.
A new level of
Even
ease.
you and Yoni could together on a tag
a
team.
new level of ease that I could even do.
Correct.
How do you like that?
Correct.
Is there anything we didn't get to aside from the Wasatsky? Because we're
we're
that.
not breaking open the Wasaski
No,
tea.
we're not. And the Geffen, we talked about the popcorners earlier.
We
One
might
of
have
the
had a
best
couple more
snacks out there.
bags.
We got a message from our chief engineer, ZK.
Uh-oh.
He says, how could you be in Toronto? And he has roots in Canada, remember. He says, how could you be in Toronto and not discuss the weather? Well, ZK, guess what?
The weather is worse than New York.
Exactly. Canadian weather is not one of my favorite topics. I can tell you that much.
No, but the weather it was colder in New York. Don't you agree?
Of course. No, it's colder here. It's
No.
colder in New York?
This morning?
Yeah, I think it's colder here. Oh, really? That's it?
Hi. I was on Grand Street today waiting for a car to pick me up. It was pretty cold.
All right. I guess maybe psychologically, if you're north of the border, you think it must be colder up here.
No, I think we're enjoying our stay here in Toronto. Again, our thanks to kosher.com for bringing us here this evening.
Go to kosher.com for recipes. Go there for recommendations. Go there for discussions about a whole variety of cooking topics that they do in their videos. Our very own Naomi Nachman is one of their roster of stars who does a web series for them. Really a lot of material, a tremendous amount of content, all at kosher.com. The contest we mentioned that they have with Shibolin. Plus,
Right.
we want to thank all the affiliated companies and brands that have helped kosher.com help us be here tonight up at Sobey's in Toronto, including Tuscanini, including Kedem and Geffen, and including Heaven and Earth, including Wisatsky Tea. All of them responsible collectively for bringing us here to Sobey's and letting us enjoy this incredible experience.
Do you know what I'm doing?
What are you doing?
I'm moving heaven and earth.
Ah, very good.
Okay, let's go.
Okay, Rabbi David's going to join us again, and we'll have plenty more coming up. Keep it right
That
here
was
at the
funny.
That was very funny.
Thank you.
It's just some people are just starting to get it now. We'll continue with more. This comes from Shalshelis, and you're listening to the Nachum Segal Network.
ושם נשיר שיר חדש, ושם נשיר שיר חדש ייבנה וביננה נעלה, וביננה נעלה ייבנה הרחמנה נקדש יספרח ניסעלה הרחמנה נקדש יספרח ניסעלה השיר שחדש ייבנה וביננה נעלה וביננה נעלה ייבנה הרחמנה נקדש יספרח ויסעלה הרחמנה נקדש יספרח ויסעלה המקדש it's the I ייבנה המקדש יצינו תמלאי ושם נשיר שיר חדש וביר נה 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 ייבנה המקדש יצינו תמלאי ושם נשיר שיר חדש וביר נה נה נה
Gitano bisimcho Yigagalu loy Lasois mitzvo Gedoyle meri shoyno oh oh Ho oise mitzvo Achas gitano bisimcho Yigagalu mitzvo Gedoyle meri shoyno Ho oise mitzvo Achas gitano bisimcho Yigagalu loy Lasois mitzvo Gedoyle meri shoyno oh oh Oise mitzvo achas kitano bisimcho Yigagalu mitzvo gedoylo meri shoyno Schar mitzvo Ili dava kitzvo Ven mitut a mitzvo Chab menoch a mitzvo Peirese oil amaze Stam el amabo Schar mitzvo Ili dava kitzvo Ven mitut a mitzvo Chab menoch a mitzvo Stam el amabo Gitano bisimcho Yigagalu loy Asois mitzvo Gedoyle meri shoyno Oh, oise mitzvo Achas gitano bisimcho Yigagalu mitzvo Gedoyle meri shoyno Oh, oise mitzvo Achas gitano bisimcho Yigagalu loy Asois mitzvo Gedoyle meri shoyno Oh mitzvo achas gitano bisimcho Yigagalu mitzvo gedoyle meri shoyno Mitzvo Ili dava kitzvo Ven mitut a mitzvo Chab menoch a mitzvo Peirese oil amaze Stam el amabo Mitzvo Ili dava kitzvo Ven mitut a mitzvo Chab menoch a mitzvo Stam el amabo
It is a Tuesday evening broadcast, 8:30 here in the East, as we broadcast from Sobey's in Toronto, where we're right in the middle of their sushi, kosher takeout, kosher bakery, pizza place, fresh meat, fresh cheese, fresh flowers, cauliflower. It's all right here in front of us.
I think they moved the cauliflower to me near you.
I told you that. Yeah. As we broadcast here on a Tuesday night. We've come to Toronto so far, a very successful journey. We're in Sobey's supermarket, enjoying some Tuscanini products, enjoying some great Heaven and Earth products, enjoying some great Geffen products, enjoying some great Satsky tea products, enjoying some, what did I forget? Kedem products, of course. As Kosher.com has facilitated our arrival and our culinary experience here at Sobey's. Thank you, Kosher.com. Again, thank you to Kosher.com. Everybody log on to Kosher.com for all their offerings and content.
Do you remember in the 80s when you could get Buitoni pasta and tomato sauce in a can?
Yes.
Okay.
You don't even know how much. First of all, it's not just the 80s. This was... okay, now we're getting into a whole thing here because I knew the owner of the company. And the owner of the company would give me cases.
Oh.
Would give me cases.
Were you the most popular kid in camp?
Would give me cases of what you just said. That was it ravioli or was it pasta?
No, it was rotini.
It was like
it was
spirals, right? Spirals, correct.
Corkscrew. Mm-hmm.
By the way, they also had a what did I just say? They also had a ravioli. That's it. Forget that for a minute.
But it didn't come in the can.
But this was the corkscrew.
Yep.
Spiral pasta in the most delicious sauce ever.
That had more unhealthy ingredients and stuff that would make you grow a second head than we would ever tolerate putting in our bodies today. That is the answer to why Tuscanini is good.
Right. Tuscanini is
we needed
natural ingredients.
Correct.
The real deal. You're certainly putting something different in your body than what you were putting with those canned products. Did you eat those canned products?
Are you kidding?
Are you serious?
No, I was a camper.
Wow.
That's why my trunk was so heavy. There were 20 cans of Buitoni in there.
Well, I think they made it available in cases of 12, and I'm telling you.
And by the way, you didn't need to heat it up.
Of course not.
Of course not.
I mean, there were people, you know what they would do?
Some people
they would open the can, and then they would put the actual can on the burner.
Of course.
Right. That's how it went.
I can't
believe you actually know this.
I can't believe we've been working together 7 years and we've never had this conversation.
And it would sit there. And by the way, you know the person who owned the company.
I do?
Yes. It was just
we're
funny.
friends?
And you know this person who owns who owned it at that time.
What are the chances that person still has cans in their garage?
I've asked them 1,000 times that question, 1,000 times.
Okay, but
so anyway, they would put the can on top of the burner, on top of the flame, and it would heat it up, but there was no reason for it.
Need.
All you had to do was eat it straight out of the can.
Right, and then of course
Yoni's looking at me like I'm strange. This would be the first thing he would eat if he had it available to him.
Forget it. With all the garbage he eats.
Exactly. Don't look at me.
This is like
Trust me, you would love this stuff.
You could tell it was a noodle, but we would never, ever tolerate that today.
Yeah, that I understand.
Right.
That I understand.
And by the way, for good reason. I mean, there was a time for that, and shelf-stable items
were important. That's right.
They still are
especially
important.
in the kosher world, right?
Yeah, but these are shelf-stable items. They just don't include,
chemicals,
benzoate, and other things I can't pronounce, and dye number 72.
And red number 12.
Red number 12 is a killer.
So we're at Sobey's here in Canada, visiting Toronto. Tomorrow morning, of course, our JMDM broadcast will be from the charity.com/Toronto campaign for the Eruv and the Hatzalah organization.
Correct.
Tonight we're at Sobey's. We're courtesy of Kosher.com and its affiliated companies, including Kedem and Geffen and Tuscanini and Masatsky Tea and Heaven and Earth.
I can't believe how many people are still coming in
I
the
know,
store.
it's interesting. I guess they're open till 10 o'clock, right?
I guess so. I mean, it's possible.
And I guess the rabbi's going to join us in another few minutes here.
I'm going to go find Rabbi David in a minute, but I also just had a nice little visit. Jessica Spodek, nay Nadler.
Is she an original? Oh, so now she's a Spodek.
Now she's a Spodek. Anyway, so she lives here in Toronto. Saw that I had posted a picture online, and she's like, "You're literally around the corner from me. I have not seen her in 25 years."
That's so funny.
Yeah, I have not seen her in 25 years.
So you reunited at Sobey's.
It's really it's you know what? It was nice. It was nice. I appreciate it, and I appreciate everyone else who came out tonight.
I mean, we've heard that Sobey's has great kosher food.
Mm-hmm.
We've heard that they are a community resource. We never thought of them as a reunion center
destination.
Yeah, a reunion destination.
Morishah reunion here 2020.
Unbelievable. All right, so
I'm going to go get.
You're going to look for the rabbi. I'm going to do this selection, and we will
get the good rabbi. Or maybe Yoni should go get him.
You know where he is?
We're gonna get him.
We're gonna get him. Okay, we'll do this. Oh, Yoni's going to get him.
We need Rabbi Chaim Hor.
Okay.
Yes, Yoni, you're going to go get him. We're going to continue Or we
Yoni Yoni's gotten to the point where he has an assistant here.
I don't know how that happened.
And by the way,
we've been paying him in ski hats.
You missed the moment earlier when Ray came by to make sure we were okay, food, drink, etc. He says to Yoni, "Can I get you anything, sir?" And I said, "Whoa!"
Oh boy!
I said, "Yoni's been called a sir."
First I'm chef, now he's sir.
Amazing, I'll tell you.
This show is full of promotions,
especially the ones that I'm not giving.
You're right. By the way, Naomi Nachman's going to be joining us in the studio in a couple weeks. We are going to be featuring different recipes out of her new cookbook.
I hope I have a say. I hope I have a say in that because
No.
I won't have a say at all.
No, you're.
Oh, thank you
very much.
Thank you.
She's going to be joining us.
Yoni's assistant just informed
Correct.
us.
Well, he doesn't have a name. He's just Yoni's assistant.
Right. Very nice.
Anyway, so she's going to be joining us in the studio. We're going to be we're going to be making up a menu comprised of different recipes from her new cookbook.
Yeah.
We are going to she'll be preparing some of it. I'll be preparing some of it. We'll be presenting it during the live
Dueling
line.
recipes?
Not dueling. We're going to be doing it
Sounds
together.
like a duel.
But
Sounds
we're
like a
gonna-
battle. Sounds like a kitchen-tested battle, if you ask me.
Thank God the rabbi is here. I need a break. But we're going to feature a number of different products.
All right, so that's cool because since she's with kosher.com and with us, we'll have a chance to get her
Correct.
to introduce some
She's
of these
bringing
products.
all our worlds together.
Right.
Okay.
Rabbi David Chaim Por is one of the mashgichim here at Sobey's. He was responsible earlier in the show for welcoming us to Toronto. Could you imagine? Yeah. Of all the ambassadors they could have chosen over in the state, not state, what do they call it? Province, capital. What is the capital of Ontario? Toronto?
Ontario.
Ontario City is the capital? What's the capital? Oh, maybe they don't have capitals in provinces here. They probably don't have capitals, right?
It's Ontario.
The city of Ontario?
No, the city here.
Ottawa is the capital of the country.
Right.
So the capital of Ontario is there a capital to this province or not? You want to check it out, Yoni? Go on the web? It may be
American.
Toronto. So, oh yeah, that's true. Good point. So of all the ambassadors that this province could have sent to welcome us to Toronto, they chose Rabbi David Chaim Por. They had a list of, it is Toronto? Toronto's the capital of this province, of Ontario. And of all the people that made that list and that generally are consulted in terms of coming and or in terms of sending them out to welcome different people, Rabbi David Chaim Por, you know what it shows us, Rabbi? Must be holiday season.
It is.
They have to be they have to find someone from the list who was available. You know what I mean?
Everyone ran away for their lives.
All right. So here was the big question we wanted to ask you: what is it like here, Erev Pesach? What is it like when you know that it's now 2-3 weeks before Pesach? What's happening in the store?
Within the next few weeks, they're going to be doing all the shopping.
It's bedlam, huh?
Yeah, this is going to be absolutely madness. There's no place to walk in here because everything is a drop skid. You'll see. If you will come here during Pesach,
What does that mean? Everything is
the store will be jam-packed.
because you create even more aisles and even more choices.
Yes, they have to create so many more aisles. The place is a madness.
Because you don't really. Well, what happens? Like, does this become kosher Pesach? Do you take it?
100%.
It does.
Everything besides the pizza shop and the sushi that will be closed down, everything becomes kosher Pesach.
You could literally walk in and buy food for your Seder from this takeout.
If you keep gebrach.
Right, they'll do it for you.
Yes. But
And there are plenty of people who do. So
Yes, there are a lot of people who keep gebrach,
Right.
so they're fine. But we have non-gebrach stuff also. There are caterers who keep non-gebrach, but mostly it's gebrach.
So if Pesach's on a Friday night, for instance, and I think this year it is, maybe I'm wrong, but if it's on a Friday night, for instance, what's the Wednesday before that like? Is it?
It's a madness.
Are you open 24 hours or close to 24 hours?
No.
Does it
There's
get close?
No. 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, that's the max that they would stay
And open at 6, 7 a.m.?
They're open at 7 a.m. every morning,
Right.
regardless.
And, I mean, I guess they do a lot of pre-orders. And
You cannot
plus, you
imagine.
probably have institutions in town that depend on you to get them certain items in certain quantities, I would assume.
Yeah, absolutely. People come from all over. They come as they drive about an hour and a half, 2 hours to come. We have people from
What
Buffalo.
happens to the Buffalo come here?
Buffalo, they come here. They
Well,
buy-
that would be, let me think for a second. Buffalo to Hamilton's what, about 45 minutes, 50
Correct.
minutes?
It's about an hour, and if you do a good job, you could do about 2 hours in and out.
Hamilton to
No,
Toronto?
Buffalo.
I know,
Buffalo
but
to-
Hamilton to Toronto is another 45, 50 minutes? Is it that much?
Hamilton is about 45, 50 minutes.
And I'm sure they come from there as well, right?
Absolutely. That I'm just
So
saying.
Buffalo at the bottom of the lake, Hamilton on the left side of the lake, Toronto on the top of the lake. So everybody in those communities are coming. Why wouldn't someone, I don't know, from Rochester or from,
There are a lot of people from everywhere that come in. We don't see they're interviewing everyone and asking where you're from.
Oh, for now on, knowing that I show up once in a while, I need you to ask them.
The question is, when they come up to us, they say, we came all the way from here. We're looking for this and this item. And that's how we know where they're from.
Right. And chances are you have that item, whatever
Yeah.
you're looking for. What'd you bring in that box? What's that box sitting to your left over there?
The famous donuts.
Now,
People come
famous
out-
because
people come from all over to get Sobey's donuts.
they want those
Even-
donuts.
Even New Yorkers.
So are they the best Hanukkah donuts? Or on Hanukkah time, they are the number one donut in town?
No, these are not Hanukkah donuts.
No, that I know. But I'm saying when it comes to
They're jelly-
Hanukkah time, are you
yes.
known as the place for sufganiyot?
Well, we sell approximately about 16 or 17,000. I don't know. So you tell me.
During the holiday of Hanukkah,
You cannot
which
even-
just concluded,
Yes.
you could sell 16,000 jelly donuts.
I don't know. I think this year they beat it. I don't know. I don't know the exact numbers, but Ray, would you know how many donuts we sold this year?
In one day.
One day.
In
Okay,
one
then
day of Hanukkah, there was $17,000 worth of donuts sold in this
You
store
can't
on one day. On one day of
Imagine
Hanukkah.
24/7. And we even had a menorah right here, and we had a menorah lighting, a real oil menorah lighting every night. We started, this is the first year we started. We started with about 5 people. The last night of Hanukkah, we had 35 people. And it was, everyone was standing around. It was, I think it was incredible. It was the biggest Kiddush Hashem we ever done.
This is like the center of town. This is like Sobey's is not just a
If-
supermarket.
no.
It's like the place.
It's
like
the social hall of the event. If you're
Right.
looking for something, you come here Friday and you'll see all your friends, your neighbors.
they're all here,
people
huh?
who you've never seen for, let's say, for 5 months, or people who are, it's winter, they're in their houses, they get out. Friday, everybody's here.
Can you get a parking space here on a Friday?
You could get a parking space, you just have to walk a little bit.
What did you want to add, Miriam Wallach, now that you're tasting one of the donuts that the rabbi has brought by?
Well,
non-Chanukah donut.
I was going to make a joke that Rabbi had told us before that he lives here, but now I know that he's lighting menorah here.
He really
He
does
actually
live
does
here.
live here.
It's true.
It's legit. Next thing I know, he's going to be putting a mezuzah on the door and breaking in his sleeping
There
bag.
were mezuzahs on the doors, but after the renovation, the rabbanim decided not to put it on.
Really?
Because of Goyishes. Yes.
Interesting.
There
Wow.
were mezuzahs on the door. There were
Wow.
actually mezuzahs on the door.
Very
But
interesting.
after the renovations, the rabbanim decided that they don't want to put it back
Right.
on.
Where's the base medrash? That's next.
We do have Chabad here on Friday. They have a table. They take one of these tables,
For
they cover it
Mitzrayim.
up, and they put on tefillin on
Yeah.
people. They do. We have incredible stuff here. We have Mifsaim also there. For example, on Sukkot, we have a sukkah outside, sukkah mobile outside, and we have boys going around with lulav and esrog. They're tuned to allowing Jewish freedom to happen in the store.
Very
Amazing.
interesting.
Yeah, we have Mishulachim who come here. Of course, they don't get anything, but we try to serve them something to eat.
Sometimes that's what they need, frankly. But it does seem like this is a real community center, Sobey's.
very,
Imagine that, a supermarket serving a community center. You have a washing station in
Yes.
Sobey's. Explain that, a
Yes.
washing station in the middle of a supermarket.
So when we created this new idea, in the plant, I spoke to the manager. I said, listen, we need to create something, especially if you have a pizza shop. We have to create. So he says,
oh,
Rabbi,
right. People are washing all the pizza.
that's right. So they said, he put it in the plan that they should have a washing station with a quart. If you go to our bathrooms, they have quarts in every bathroom. And you have ashiyatza outside the
Oh,
bathroom.
my gosh.
We decided we wanted to make a environment. This is with the help of Sobey's, of course. The managers of the Sobey's, everyone. They just wanted to make an environment that is okay with everyone. One of the craziest things we have here, this is not a COR ruling out of the council. This is something that us, the rabbis, between me and my partners, we decided to build a store based on Chalav Yisrael, Bishul Yisrael, and Pas Yisrael.
So every item in the pizza is Chalav Yisrael.
Everything is Chalav Yisrael. There is no such thing as OUD. We don't carry anything, not in our products.
Right. In other words, regular products on the
Yeah,
shelves you
on
would
the
have.
shelf, yes.
Right. You'd have an OU
But
product.
our bakery is even also Yashan. Many stuff is still yashan. There are certain items that will go off eventually as the year progresses, but most of our stuff is still yashan, and we keep. It's an incredible thing. I don't think anyone has such a thing. And remember, this is a Goyish store.
Right. It's not a Jewish establishment.
This is a ShopRite. This is a Pathmark, and they took one of them out and they made it exclusive. This is something nobody understands.
How active is your flower department on Friday?
You cannot imagine.
And you have good quality
Mother's
flowers,
Day,
huh?
Mother's Day,
Mother's
Flowers
Day,
Day.
right.
Friday, that's why I said, if you come in here, forget about 2 o'clock closing. The
Right.
kitchen is closed, but the store is open and is active till a minute before Shabbos. People forget to buy cake. People forget to buy dessert. People forget to buy everything. You have to take a video of our ice cream shop. I think everyone will
Oh, I
be
want to look at
amazed.
that. I want to see those.
No
What is
one-
it, 24 doors you said?
I think it's approximately 12. Or
I got to look at
25.
that after the show later on.
This is something incredible. No one has this.
I think the only thing you don't have here is a Jewish newsstand. That's about it.
There is.
You have a newsstand.
We have every newspaper. Are
You're
you kidding?
serious?
Right there, but it only comes in on Wednesday.
How did I not
by
see it?
Friday because
Thank you, Miriam.
okay, yes, it's not. This is a quiet, and you should know everyone is away. Usually the stores is a lot busier, but people are away. The holidays.
Well, the next time we come up here, I want to do it on a Thursday night.
Oh my
Because
God.
that would be an active newsstand,
Yes.
active flowers, a lot of guests.
You
We
gonna
get a lot of people stepping up who would want to be involved in the show.
That's right.
So we could do that on a Thursday
Especially
night.
after Thursday night, the store is open till 11.
Oh, very nice.
And
So
10
now at 10 to 9 on a Thursday night would
It
be,
would be crowded.
much more active.
Yeah, but after 10 o'clock, all the cool younger men come in. It's really, you see all the black hats walk around. People are shopping.
I was going to say Charlton Kugel or what
Oh,
else?
beyond
We
your
do that?
imagination.
Do we do that Thursday night here? You can buy Charlton Kugel?
Of course there is Charlton and Kugel. Well, how could you not?
We got to
have
come
that?
here on a Thursday night. We got to come back.
We
We got to
you
come back to
kidding?
Toronto.
How could you not have fresh
And
Charlton
and
Kugel?
those who rate Cholent, what do they say about your Cholent here? They're very into it?
If they wanted, they wouldn't be making so much.
That's true. And they wouldn't be selling so
They-
much.
they-
Okay, so now the plan is live lunch finishes at 1 o'clock. We drive 7 hours. We show up here at Sobey's.
Ooh, it'd be
Taco
just,
Nut.
yeah, it would work. It would work.
I
If you could
know.
spend the Shabbos here, you
Maybe we
be
should
here
go.
on
Well,
Friday. You will go
yeah.
out of your mind.
Then we have to turn around so you can do JM and AM back in the studio at 6 o'clock.
Boy, oh boy.
And then hopefully the keys still work in our homes.
Yeah,
Fantastic.
this is something very special.
Rabbi
And,
David, how many years are you with Sobeys?
It's not. I'm not with Sobey. Sobey's cannot hire.
I apologize. How
I
many
work
years are you
for
with
the
these?
Cashiers
Right.
Council of
How many
Canada.
years? You know what I meant. I'm
And
sorry.
I've been in this store for about 13 years.
Wow.
Approximately.
You've been a
13
great
years.
host for us.
Thank you. Thank you.
You
So-
gave us
so-
a beautiful welcome. When we walked in this afternoon, I think you were shocked that we walked in here.
I was shocked to see you.
Yeah, you
here.
were just stunned.
He's very shocking.
He is.
Rabbi, can I ask you a question? Is that all right? I'm curious. At any point, did Sobeys, while they were making all these adjustments for the Jewish community, wonder, like, wow, maybe it's enough? Or maybe this wasn't such a good idea?
No,
Like,
because we, out of 123 stores or whatever they own, this is the store number. It used to be number 1, but
It was
now it's-
number 1.
Yeah, out of the 120 something, it's now number 6 or something, 7, 5 or 6 or 7.
Well, congrats to our Jewish community of Toronto.
yeah,
Wow. That's amazing.
Yes, so that's why it's never a mistake. It's always an improvement, and there is much more to do.
I think this is part of our whole mentality that it's hard
And
to
it's
believe that there's
all-
enough Jews outside of New York to sustain a place like
beyond
this.
your imagination, there's a lot here. But thanks to our vendors, especially Alta Foods, who represents all these Kedem,
Right.
Geffen, Tuscanini, all these.
Wasatsky tea and
Visotsky
heaven and
especially,
earth.
Yes, Visotsky tea. You cannot find more Visotsky tea anywhere in the world than Sobey's. Trust me. Check the aisle. There is jam-packed of every single flavor. You're not missing anything. You'll be shocked what's on the shelves. It's Visotsky is all over the store.
Unbelievable.
Pesach, you'll find it everywhere.
Unbelievable.
Come here on Pesach and you'll be shocked. You have never seen this. We're not, a minimum grocery shopping on Pesach is anywhere between $300 to $500, and people.
And they
have-
come back 10 times before Pesach to do
But
that.
there are people who walk around with about 15, 16 between the cashiers. They're always saying, "Okay, who did the most?" And then they will say, "I did 1,800." The other one will say, "I did 22." That's on one buggy. So, yes.
Shopping cart for those of you from the United States.
Yes. 3 or 4 shopping carts for that.
A lot of times they do that, by the way. Family members will come. Each one will have their own shopping cart, and they'll shop together for everything.
True, but even though that we have it's a supermarket,
Right.
when it comes to the meat, you could get customized meat. People will come and say, can I get Lubavitch Shchita? And they will cut it for you in the morning. So the knives and everything should be clean. People will say they want a specific part of an animal, and they will find it for them. You have never seen a place like this. In the olden days, when we had a smaller section of meat, it used to be filled up 9 times. So now that we expanded, we only fill it up 3 or 4
Right.
times a day.
But it's much larger.
And it's huge. I mean,
Amazing.
you see it. It's huge.
Well, I'm going to do one little run around here at 9 p.m. and just see things before I leave
I'll
here.
take you around. Don't
I
you worry.
appreciate
Just
that.
tell me out. You got to see everything.
Rabbi
There's a lot.
David Chaim Por, Mashgiach here at Sobey's, a great host for us on this special edition of the Nachum Siegel Network presentation. Thank you to our friends at kosher.com and to all the brands that they are representing in general, but this evening specifically Tuscanini and Kedem and Geffen and Wisatsky Tea, and of course Heaven and Earth, a very, very big product here as well. And I thank you very much, Rabbi.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Amazing.
Thank
Absolutely
you.
amazing. Here we are at Sobey's, everybody. Big thank you to kosher.com. We'll do our final segment in just a moment if you keep it right here at the Nachum Siegel Network.
So when did you go ahead and
מחר השמש תזרח וכולנו נשמח ולא נצטרך עוד לבכות מחר הכל יתמהר הכאב ייגמר רק צריך להאמין שאפשר לחכות עד מחר מה שהיה היה ועבר עוד לא קרה שיום חזר מה שהיה היה ונגמר מה שיהיה זה כל מה שנשאר מה שהיה תם ונשלם אתה כבר לא הולך לשם מה שהיה היה ונזכר מה שפתוח זה רק המחר היה ונגמר מה שיהיה זה כל מה שנשאר מה שהיה תם ונשלם אתה כבר לא הולך לשם מה שהיה היה ונסגר מה שפתוח זה רק המחר מחר הכל יתבהר רק צריך להאמין שאפשר לחכות עד מחר מחר השמש תזרח וכולנו נשמח ולא נצטרך עוד לבכות מחר הכל יתבהר הכאב
Speaking of Machar, tomorrow we are at the big campaign for the Toronto Community Eruv and the Hatzalah organization, a one-day campaign that's called Keep Toronto Running. Charity.com/Toronto, charity.com/Toronto, CHARIDY.com/Toronto. Our live broadcast will go all the way until 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Make sure to be tuned in here at the Nachum Segal Network. Well, I want to thank our friends at Kosher.com and their related brands, including Tuscanini, Heaven and Earth, Kedem, Geffen, Wasatsky Tea, all part of tonight's broadcast. Our visit to Sobey's was exactly what I thought it would be when we were first told about this store about 15 years ago. And that is that it is a comprehensive shopping experience, to say the least, and really an important part of the whole Toronto Jewish community experience.
Are you kidding? I'm full.
Well, you...
Well, I
don't know. I don't know if this really belongs on the air, frankly.
We will not be finishing that sentence.
We've been working together.
As of yesterday, it was 8 years. Yeah.
This team has been working together for 3 years, but you and I have been working together now for, I think, over 7 years or over 6 years, whatever it is. And I don't know if you want me to continue or not.
No, please do.
But I have to admit.
This is good radio.
I have to admit that in this radio partnership, this unique partnership, I think the audience has gotten the impression over the years that I am someone who really likes to eat. And that you and eat everything, and that you very often will make recommendations about what to or what not to eat. I think that would be an accurate portrayal of what the audience, of how the audience sees this radio team.
Sure.
And tonight, I think Yoni would agree
that roles were reversed
for the first time. That we're all working together. We actually witnessed you go out of control when it came to eating, which is a shock. Yoni and I are completely shell-shocked that this actually happened in front of us. But I see that Sobey's and Kosher.com certainly had a positive effect on you, that's for sure.
I couldn't resist.
I mean, pizza and donuts.
Okay.
Yoni, if we would have had pizza and donuts, we would have bet the house that there's no way in the world you'd eat either of them. Forget about one of them.
You can't bet here in Toronto.
I guess you're right.
Exactly.
We don't have the app for Toronto, do we?
No, but the oh, God.
Anyway.
The food was great.
Food was amazing.
The hosts were great.
Food is amazing. Host is amazing.
Our thanks to Ray here at Sobey's. Our thanks to Alicia here at Sobey's.
Thank you. Thank you to both of them.
Our thanks to Sam
Yes,
here at
thank
Sobey's.
you, Sam. And thank you to Kim and everybody at Kosher.com.
Correct. And Leah, who helped.
And Leah, thank you.
Who helped with the marketing.
We really had a blast here.
We really did.
And we will continue to remind everybody that Kosher.com and all its affiliated brands, including Kedem, Geffen, Tuscanini, Wasatsky, and Heaven and Earth, are well worth pursuing no matter what supermarket you're heading into, whether it's in Toronto or anywhere else on this globe. So there you have it.
And our thanks to Yoni.
And thank you, Yoni Pollack.
And
ZK.
Yep.
And Avrami. And everybody who's responsible for the behind-the-scenes action that happens here. Who'd you say? And Jamie. Thank you to Jamie as well.
And everyone who commented on the app. We had 15 app comments.
Before we wrap up.
Shlomi E. letting me down,
since
that's for sure.
Since we're still live, before we wrap things up, give me a second. Give me a second to go to the app comments and see what's going on. After all, that's one of the fun parts, is the interaction that we have with this amazing audience of ours. All right, so according to this, one listener says, our family, big Arizona drinkers, so on Pesach, instead, we make a lot of Wasatsky iced tea. Very good. I like that suggestion. Shlomi E. says, I love when you guys talk about stuff we have no idea what you're talking about, as if this is normal. As if this is normal things we should have all heard of.
It is normal for us, Shlomi.
Now I know why you're thanking Shlomi for his comments. I thank you all for tuning in. Have a wonderful Tuesday night, and don't forget to tune in tomorrow morning. We're going to go until 10 a.m. Eastern Time with a special edition of JM in the AM. Charity.com/Toronto. Charity.com/Toronto. We will speak with you then. Thank you, Mary Mawalik. Thank you, Yoni Pollack. Thanks to everybody, to ZK, and to all of the wonderful people involved in this special edition of Kosher.com presents the Nachum Segal Network at Sobey's here on NSN.
כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו בכל כך שמחו כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו בכל כך שמחו כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו בכל כך שמחו כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו בכל כך שמחו עד שהשמחו נגס עד רגלו ומעלה אויסום למעלה למעלו עד שהשמחו נגס עד רגלו ומעלה אויסום אוי למעלו מרקד מחמא שמחו עיות מסלח אוי רייסום מרקד מחמא שמחו עיות מסלח אוי רייסום כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו בכל כך שמחו כשאדם לא מתוירו אוי שעושה מצוו אהי בשמחו